Alrighty, I think I'm recording. Am I recording? Yes, I am recording. All right, cool. This is number two of my daily sketch kind of thing updates. So the first one I did last week was the Jason Sweeney murder that happened in 2003, part of Fishtown, part of Philly. This story here is not a true crime unless you count the crime of me have to smell this guy as a crime. I guess in my mind it would be a crime, but to each his own, I guess. So this happened a couple years ago. Me and a couple of my friends were sitting on South Street waiting for our time slot to go into Magic Gardens, which is this little cool ceramic art on a wall kind of thing. They put a bunch of junk and kind of epoxy it or glue it or whatever the hell they do, cement it to the freaking wall. And, a bunch of people go in there like, that's so cool. Me being one of them. Um, so we decide, all right, we'll just get coffee and we'll just hang out here. It's a nice day, whatever. Now, in Philly, we have a homeless problem. And it's just like the homeless problem that we have is, it's not as, every city has it, but like our homeless are just out of their mind. And for example, like even today, I was down in the city doing the Christmas village stuff, and I literally saw a John Wick style fight between a homeless man and a sewer rat. Yeah, that happened today. But this story here happened a couple years ago while we were waiting, and my two friends are sitting there talking about something that something that one of them was doing, and it's like, oh, cool. And then I'm kind of like paying attention to my surroundings because I'm from Philly and I know things can go south very, very quick. So out of the corner of my eye, I see these two guys, and they're going into the giant supermarket over on South Street. And in my mind, I literally, I kid you not, in my mind, I'm like, these guys are going to be a problem. If they're going to come over here and something's going to go down. And it did. Within 2 minutes, they're being escorted of uh, out of giant supermarket by a security guard who continues to watch them even when they came over to us. Now, here's the thing for you ladies out there that when you're talking to your guy and all of a sudden he just kind of like goes on autopilot and stuff. Here's what he's truly doing. There's a potential threat or a potential problem that he's going to have to deal with approaching or somewhere nearby, and he's already in his mind, how am I going to handle this? So that's essentially what I went into. I went into, these guys are coming over here and they're going to be a freaking problem. And I'm trained in jujitsu and Muay Thai and everything like that. And my brain immediately goes to that. Like, what are these guys going to do? Am I going to have to, like, take these guys down? It's not arrogance. That's just how my brain works. So they come over to us, and just to help with this, I'm going to call these two guys Fred and Bob. Bob is a dirty, smelling like piss, white trash guy with an attitude problem. And Fred is this guy who believes himself and fancies himself to be an African warlord king. Like he's like Wakanda forever shit. Anyway, so they go like, excuse me, yo, guys, can, like, one of you, like, with your ID go into Giant and buy us a 40 of Colt 45? I could not help but chuckle because of two things. That is a very random, skunk, disgusting tasting beer. And two, I did not know that they still made 40s. I thought that was like a 90s thing. Like, oh, what you got on my 40? Like, that was what a lot of like, thugs in the 90s used to say, like, what you got on my 40. So I immediately go like, me and my friends were just like, yeah, sorry, man. Like, we don't have our ID on us. And like in back of my, like, I can see security staring at us, and I am not getting arrested trying to buy two homeless alcoholics Colt 45 40s. That's just not happening. Because I guarantee you, if I would have went in that store and tried to buy those 40 ounces of Colt 45, the store owner has already called the police. And I'm going to get arrested, and then I'm going to get interviewed. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, Wakanda Forever out there, and freaking Trailer Joe Bob wanted some Colt 45 for their, whatever it is they're doing to go along with their meth or whatever. So we told them no. Now the white trash guy gets all like butthurt, like, oh, see, I told you, man. Like, everybody in this area is just so snobby. Nobody's willing to help anybody out. And I ignore it, because if I get into a fight, like, we already have a homeless problem, like I said, and I'm not going to be that statistic guy that's going to be on the daily news like, a fight broke out between a couple of people waiting to go into a hipster art show and homeless people. Because of course it did. It's Philly. Anyway, so I ignored it, and then, the white trash guy kind of leaves, walks away. He's like, come on, man, let's go find someone else. Fred here decides to stick around and go into a 10-minute tirade about how he is an African warlord king who, when he goes somewhere like Philly, he goes there to conquer. And then he goes on a tirade using a very bad fake African accent. He literally, and I quote, said, when I go places, they know who I am. I am an African warlord king. I go there and I conquer. I take everything. I don't leave anything alive. I kill everything. Humans, animals, even the plants, yo. Even the weeping willows don't survive me. Right? And I'm just sitting there trying not to laugh, but I can't help myself. I'm just chuckling, and I'm just like, and I finally just like look at the guy. I'm like, okay, T'Chilla, what what, how can I help you again? He's like, oh yeah, like last night I was mugged I was mugged in the city, and I need $5 to help buy me a beer, and I don't have my ID. My ID was with my money, and I got mugged in the city. So I'm like, cool, you're an African warlord king who came to the big bad city of Philadelphia and thinking you're going to take over, but instead, you were mugged. So yeah, in a nutshell, obviously I didn't buy this guy beer. I'm like, nah, dude, sorry, you need to move on. I'm not getting involved in this. Go, go fight Thanos elsewhere. But that's kind of the story of this, and I guess the moral of this story is don't do drugs. Don't drink either, or if you're going to drink, choose something with some like class or some flavor, taste, or whatever. Colt 45 is basically repackaged. I don't even know what. I just know it's skunked, and that's like a term we use here in Philly. Skunked means that it's spoiled. It tastes like complete ass. And in a capitalist society, like, we could still make money. The homeless guys that think they're from freaking Wakanda will drink it. So, I went sober a couple of years ago, and it was the best decision I ever made. And I feel like if I was still drinking, I probably would be out there dressed like Captain America, thinking that, like, oh man, like, oh, I stopped Thanos from punching me with his gauntlet in there. I'm Steve Rott, whatever. Anyway, so that's my my daily sketch number 2, and if you guys could do that solid, you already know what it is. Click all those buttons at the bottom, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let's help me build this channel. Hopefully it turns into something, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And yeah, normally I do true crime ones, but I just this story was just too funny to not tell. But again, I'll see you guys on the next one, and Merry Christmas and all that fun stuff. Deuces.